That down. Let's get into this, shall we? You know, one of the first batch of Marvel MCU shows that came out was Hawkeye. And I got to confess, I did not love it. I love Jeremy Renner. Like, I adore Jeremy Renner. And Kate Bishop, played by Hailee Steinfeld. Hailee is like one of my wife's favorite celebrities. She loves her. So we watch it with great interest. Had its upside. Had a couple of decent episodes. I confess I love the Tracksuit Boys.
Tracksuit Mafia.
Yeah, I call them the Tracksuit Boys.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of them. Overall, I thought the show was it was whatever. It was okay. But after, Jeremy Renner's close to New Year's Eve horrible accident that nearly killed him.
Yeah.
It's great seeing him back on his feet and getting involved again. And now he might even be coming back for a Hawkeye season 2. This comes to us from Joe Blow. Their headline reads, a Hawkeye season 2 with the Raid-like trappings is reportedly in development with Jeremy Renner and Hailee Steinfeld. So they wrote this. Grab your quiver of trick arrows and prep a box of macaroni and cheese because Kate Bishop and Clint Barton could return for Hawkeye season 2. A target with a rumor at its bullseye is making the rounds today, with whispers of Marvel developing a follow-up to 2021's Hawkeye series on Disney+. The rumor comes from industry scooper My Time to Shine, who is sometimes right, sometimes wrong, who says Marvel plans to put Steinfeld's Kate Bishop and Jeremy Renner Clint Barton at the center of an outrageous plot with the Raid-like elements. Now, for a lot of people, if you're going to say something's going to be like the Raid, that'll pique up a lot of action film fans' ears, because the Raid is considered by many to be like the Picasso of action films.
The Rad.
The Rad and the Rad 2.
The Rad 2 even radder.
Yeah, for a lot of action films, it's the Picasso for a lot of people. And, that gets people excited. All right. Let me just say that this coming from a Twitter source that is sometimes right, sometimes wrong. The reason I bring it up here is because this is not the first time I've heard this whisper. Somebody whispered this to me about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And frankly, I dismissed it. I dismissed it. Now, seeing somebody else now coming out and saying it, I still don't know that I buy into it, to be honest with you, but it gives it at least a little bit more leverage that I think it becomes an interesting point of conversation. Because the question then is, should they even bother doing a Hawkeye season 2? And then, of course, the question is, if they ever did one, would Jeremy Renner come back? Because quite frankly, as much as I love Hailee Steinfeld, and I thought Kate Bishop was a really interesting character, I'm not interested in Kate Bishop being Hawkeye. I don't care. I am not interested in Kate Bishop being Hawkeye. I'm not interested in a Hawkeye season 2 if Jeremy Renner's in it. And even if Jeremy Renner's in it, I'm not super excited for it because I didn't think the first season, was frankly all that great. But with the end of the Marvels, and of course, Kamala Khan going out and seeking out Kate Bishop, which was a really cool little end button on the movie. I like that. It was kind of fun. And especially after his accident, there is something in me that is even more yearning to see Jeremy Renner kicking ass on the screen again as Hawkeye. And as an OG Avenger, part of the weakness of Marvel lately has been they've kind of abandoned their original roots. Like Tony's gone, Steve is gone, Scarlet's gone, all that kind of stuff. And to have an OG Avenger still having a presence in the MCU could be important. Anyway, guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Wellness Company. Okay, so you wake up with a scratchy throat, congestion, runny nose, and cough. You know your body. You know you're getting sick. So your choices are tough it out, get sick and take time off work, or hope the doctor can see you this month, or wait 2 hours at urgent care and sit in a room full of sick people, or open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to the doctor-recommended prescription. Start on the right meds and nip this in the bud now. Your medical emergency kit is not a first aid kit. It comes with doctor-prescribed meds to treat over 39 medical issues. Strong antibiotics for infections of all types, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, bronchitis, and so much more. Plus, a doctor's easy guide so you'll know know exactly what to take and when. There's no waiting to see the doctor, no waiting at the pharmacy. It's all in here. Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in just minutes. Your kit will be rushed right to your door, and you can get 15% off at twc.health/Campea and use promo code Campea when you check out. That's promo code Campea at twc.health/Campea. Rob, I don't know that I buy that this is happening, but I'll say this. If it does happen, I'm open to it. I'm not going to pretend I'm super excited about it, but I'm open to it mostly because of Jeremey Renner. What do you think?
Well, I feel the same way you do. I mean, I thought it was interesting. I understand the Mad Faction story that they were adapting, but to me, I mean, he was a SHIELD agent. The guy's a secret agent. He's a globe-trotting secret agent. And during the snapping, you know, he was out there killing fools that were in part of the underworld globally. You know, he was off the reservation just murdering people. And I'm like, when I watched the Hawkeye show, I'm like, this is the story you've chosen to tell us? I understand they want Kate Bishop and her wacky family and all that, but I'm like, why is this? You could tell us any story about Hawkeye. You did not tell us a badass Hawkeye story. And I felt that the episodes, like the story of that show it should have been one episode. It felt like it was all strung out. I got to the point where I'm like, what am I even watching? Why is Hawkeye involved in this? It should have been like, if it was a Kate Bishop show about Christmas time and all that, I would have been okay. But it was so frustrating to watch that show because I'm like, why? You've got to make Hawkeye a badass. He's like you said, an OG Avenger. Give him something cool to do. Give him a globe-trotting. I mean, I guess they did this with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but put him on some kind of a great mission. And I just felt like he was wasted in his own show, and they had him like hanging out domestically. In apartments and stuff. I get it, but I'm like, and his family's there for Christmas, and I'm like, just go be with your family. It's like, oh, I can't come home now. I'm like, you're not doing anything that's really that important. Go home to your wife and kids. I'm like, give me a story where I felt like there was some stakes. It was almost like, well, I got to protect this girl because, you know, she really liked me when I was protecting her during the Chitauri.
Well, no, remember, there was the MacGuffin about the item that he knows is directly connected to his wife, and we don't find this out till a little bit later.
I know.
I'll say this. The basic, and I say this as somebody who wasn't a big fan of the show, the basic idea of, you know, Clint, who had, number one, as a SHIELD agent, then got violated, taken over by Loki, and nearly took out the Avengers, and then lost his family to the snap, went on a murderous rampage across the globe, killing untold numbers of people.
Right.
Then to get his wife back, and kind of like an Unforgiven, wanting to get his life. He wants a different life now. That to me is not a bad setup. But I agree with you in the sense that once you are there, that's your setup, that's your point, that's where we find Clint. I have no problem with where we find Clint when we start the show. My problem is that I agree with you after that. It almost didn't feel necessary for him to be there.
No.
And it needed to be his show. Like, if you want to use it as a vehicle to also introduce Kate Bishop, that's fine too, but Kate Bishop needs to be in the passenger seat, not the driver's seat. And they did a pretty good job introducing
the car chase was good, though.
I love that shot with the rotating camera.
That was good.
The show, don't get me wrong, the show has its moments.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Tracksuit Mafia, well, everybody universally agrees they are stupid. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I was giggling and smiling when they'd be talking about which concert to take his girlfriend to, and bro. Like, I laughed every time, I will admit. The show had its moments.
I just thought, I mean, it did, and I didn't hate it. I'm just saying that is this the show that you want to tell about a character like Hawkeye? And I get what they're doing, but I still wanted a show that felt like it had more stakes, that was larger in scope, that had just more going on. And at the same time, you had this, you know, the nefarious stuff that was going on with Kate Bishop's mom and her suitor and all that. And it was weird and Baroque. That's the word I would say. It's Baroque, and I don't understand why it was.
Yeah. Now, what about this, though? What about them saying they're going to come back in a Raid-like kind of movie? Which Okay, so
Are they
maybe
going
I'm
to attack
wrong.
a building?
Well, so see, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like maybe my head is going in the wrong direction, but I'm thinking, okay, where the two of them are now, where the series, like probably 6 episodes, because that's what Marvel does, a 6-episode thing, which is basically them running a what's the phrase for it when you're going through a series, the not the gauntlet, what's it called?
gauntlet.
What's
The
that?
Gauntlet.
The gauntlet. Running. Why did I freeze on gauntlet? Anyway,
That's a Clint
where it's
Eastwood movie.
basically a 6-episode of them running through a gauntlet of trying to get to whoever and whatever the final boss is. And it's more action orientated, put a good underlying reason about why they're doing this gauntlet. I'll tell you what, that could work. I mean, that could work for me. I think that has some potential. What do you think?
Yeah, it could. I mean, I just think that there's more interesting tales to tell as a SHIELD agent, I mean, I felt the same way about the Marvels. You know, here you could have told an Empire Strikes Back-esque story about what was Captain Marvel dealing with during the 5 years of the snap when the galaxy was falling apart as well. You could have done something really spectacular.
But did we want to do a prequel? Because we're like the timeline of the MCU's moved past that now.
It could have tied into the current day. It could have been, again, Godfather 2, that stuff. Something happened in that 5-year thing.
Flashbacking back and forth.
Yeah, and there was some, because, they made it into a glorified TV movie. And I think that's the real problem that I'm having, is that you're taking these characters, Hawkeye, in the Avengers, like you said, taken over by Loki. And then the opening of Endgame is just a heart-wrenching ending or opening.
Yeah.
And then you go into Mr. Fantasy. That was a genius way to open that movie. And then you kind of made Hawkeye sort of mundane. He's like walking the streets of New York in half that
But that's
movie.
kind of, I didn't mind that because that's what he wanted to be.
I know,
Like,
but
even if you go all the way back to Civil War, right? We saw glimpses in Clint of, this is what I want to get back
Yeah,
to.
he
It's
had his
almost time for me to
I
come back
know,
to being
but
a family man, right?
is that good Avengers drama?
But you needed something more than just, I bumped into this girl. Look, because if you're doing the Unforgiven thing, right? Where they give us flashes in Civil War that he wants to become back to the family man. He gets his family back after the 5-year snap, and he commits to himself, I am now not, in Clint, not going to lead a life of sin. I'm now going to be a good family man, right? That's great. You need something bigger that makes him pull a Corleone saying, every time I think I'm out, they pull me. Something
Yes.
not like something. So if they can pull something like that off in season 2, which obviously at the end of season 1, Clint's back with his family, right? He's barbecuing up. He's handed the suit over. Give me something good and compelling. Look, I don't want to be the downer. Kill one of his kids.
Oh, dude.
Look,
Wow, you went from 0 to 60.
no,
pretty
but
fast.
listen. You need something that is going to take this man, like Unforgiven, right? That's going to take this man who is now, by the end of season 1, he is now settled. He's the family man, period. If you want something really damn compelling, maybe a little dark, that is going to bring the Ronin back out and say, okay. And in his best John Wick, people keep asking me if I'm back. Yeah, I think I'm back. You have somebody, whether on purpose or inadvertently, kill one of his kids. Now you've got a Ronin that is singularly focused, and God help anybody in his way. And with a Kate Bishop going alongside him to get that, because she's obviously started to develop a connection with his family too by the end of the first season. You kill one of his kids, you've suddenly I got goosebumps on my arm. You just brought back the Ronin, and you're going to be sorry. And I'm instantly on board. You do that, I'm instantly on board. But is that too dark? I don't know. What do you
Killing
think?
kids? Yeah, kind of.
Killing kids?
Yeah, because he essentially lost his kids for 5 years. He thought
But he got them back?
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
But what else can you do that is going to be something that can bring back out the Ronin? Something that would cause so much anger and so much rage for him to forsake that he finally got his family life, and he's willing to leave that family life again to go on to a raid-like kind of thing. What else can you do?
Well, you lethal weapon it up. Somebody that like Mr. Hunsaker at the beginning, whose daughter dies, and then an old friend of an old friend of Hawkeye's has something terrible that happened, and he comes to Hawkeye for help. You need to help me, and you owe me for this, and that's how you're off to the races.
It's time for Marvel to start killing kids. No, but I'm being serious. Like, you killed John Wick's puppy. You have Hawkeye lose one of his kids. Dude, just think of the fury.
But he did lose
rage.
I can't.
But he got him back. Anyway, you're going to have to come up with something big to bring him back out, though. You can't just do,
You're an evil man, John.
I
Killing
bumped into
kids.
this girl in the street, so now I got to go off on this adventure. Like, you can't do that again. Like,
You could have handled that in like an afternoon and still, honey, I can't come. Yeah, I know you've been shopping for 3 episodes, but I can't come home.
kill his kids. Anyway, question is for you guys. What do you think? Just one of his kids. He's got a couple. Okay. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. By the way, Isaiah Jones in the live chat put it perfectly. His family is the only thing holding him together. You do something to the family.
But do you want Ronan or do you want Hawkeye?
I want Ronan.
But this is called Hawkeye Season 2.
Well, Ronan is Hawkeye.
No.
Yes. No, he is Hawkeye. Anyway. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.